This is why Jake Paul trolls the big guys in boxing. Neck Boys Podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Celeb Spotlight. Jake Paul is a YouTuber, influencer, and a comedian, and now he's a professional boxer. Jake Paul sometimes seems less interested in taking his boxing career seriously, and many people fail to understand that it's been only a year since he's turned pro. On a recent podcast with the Nelk Boys, Jake Paul talks about how he is having fun trolling legendary fighters like Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, and others. We got all the details for you, including some of the craziest things Jake Paul has done to gain clout and fame. Stay tuned and watch. Before we start with today's video, however, make sure you subscribe to our channel and also turn on the bell for latest notifications and updates. Make sure you never miss another video. With that said, let's jump into today's video. Jake Paul successfully finds a way to keep himself in the news just about every single week. After all, as an influencer and YouTuber, that's what he and his brother strive for, to stay relevant, and they seem to be doing a great job ever since both brothers turned to boxing. Ever since they became pro boxers, both brothers, but Jake Paul especially, are known to troll and pick up fights with the big guns in the game. Jake Paul has 20 million plus subscribers, and it is no surprise he wants to entertain his huge following. Let's take a look at how both brothers have managed to get the biggest names in the world of sport to notice them. Floyd Mayweather. Back in June, 50-0 legend took on Logan Paul in a boxing exhibition, but it was Jake who rattled the 44-year-old when during the press conference for the fight, Jake and Mayweather would square up before Jake said "gotcha hat" and ran off with Mayweather's bit of kit. He didn't get far, and a full-on brawl ensued backstage as a result. Mayweather had already said he would give Jake a fight if he could beat Askren, which Paul successfully did in April with a first-round knockout. After this incident, one would think money was more motivated than ever. Conor McGregor. Jake Paul had to work hard to get anything out of Conor McGregor. First, he called out the UFC star after his win over Robinson in November, and then put together a controversial video in which he insulted McGregor's fiancée, Dee Devlin, and claimed to have a proof of funds for $50 million to tempt McGregor to fight. When this garnered no response, he filmed a follow-up in which he taunted the Irishman's training partner, Dylan Moran. He then hired a plane to fly a banner over Miami Beach, which simply read, "Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul." McGregor was eventually asked about the campaign ahead of his fight with Dustin Poirier in January. "You know, that is what it is," he said, before avoiding using his name. "We'll see what happens." He seems like a confused little kid to me, to be honest. He's willing to get in there, I don't know what'll happen. It's not on the radar at the minute with the young lad. I know I have a teammate, Dylan Moran. Him and Dylan have been back and forth, so you never know. Dana White. On the heels of Jake Paul's crusade to fight McGregor comes his issues with UFC president Dana White. White said there is zero chance Jake Paul would get McGregor. When it was somewhat joked that UFC champion Amanda Nunes might fight him, Paul's response was nobody knows who she is. White said I'm thinking of letting Amanda Nunes knock his ass out, and the Brazilian would put Paul in a coma. White has continued to crucify the Paul brothers whenever their names pop up, and when asked about them in a recent interview he told the Shout podcast, the answer to that question is, who gives a fuck? Neither one of those guys can fight. It's all a big gimmick. Like I said in a recent press conference, there's a market for that. If people are dumb enough to spend their money watching that shit, I don't know what to tell you. Good luck to them. I couldn't care less what that guy does. I get it. He's trying to make some money and is doing his thing. There are people who want to spend money on that. I'm not that guy. And he was left puzzled by the idea Logan would fight Mayweather given Britain's KSI beat him. When people ask me what's the state of boxing right now, that's where it's at, he said. Didn't that kid get beat up by the fucking video game kid from England and now he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather? As you can see, the Paul brothers certainly got the big name in boxing to notice them, and this is what Jake Paul talked about in his recent podcast with the Nelk Boys. When asked about the drama with Floyd Mayweather, Tyron Woodley, and Conor McGregor, Jake Paul opened up about how he's just having fun, which also acts as an effective promotional for his millions of followers on social media. Jake Paul explains that it is what he loves doing and that it makes him laugh watching others react to what he says. He also goes on to explain that he's not really interested in entering the ring and fighting these experienced boxers just yet, as he doesn't want to get killed. But messing with guys like Floyd, Mayweather, and Conor McGregor is funny to him, and also nobody else is doing it, which makes him unique. It therefore goes to say that Jake Paul is not only entertaining himself, but also his followers with the content as he looks to win and fight more in the future. That brings us to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one.